Bill's missed me, so I'm back.
Yes, we have.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry.
I see everyone this afternoon. Just very quickly, with regards to Senate Bill 27, obviously, our caucus, and we want to do everything we can to support not only Northwest Indiana, but frankly, all parts of the state. And anything that we can do to help that bill along, we want to do. But obviously, it was a 65-page amendment, I think, that I got late last night. Haven't even really had a chance to look at it super closely because I want to take a look, as we all do, the funding and things like that. Make sure all the numbers add up and all those sorts of things. So a lot of folks will be doing that today, tomorrow, over the weekend, and we'll see where we land on that next week. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
On the issue of the new proposed football stadium, a lot of folks may not understand how government finance works. Like, hey, how can Indiana afford to build a football stadium when we got Medicaid issues, education issues, road issues, and they say Indiana doesn't have its priorities straight.
Yeah, well, certainly our caucus over the course of this session, we've been talking about affordability. We've been putting forth bills, amendments, things like that to attack the affordability issue, to tackle Medicare and those sorts of things. So that's always been a priority of ours. We would love to have seen some of those things accepted by the House Republicans, but they weren't. A lot of these, I noticed as my first going over the amendment, a lot of local taxes that are going to be captured up there in both Porter and Lake County. So while there's some backup stuff, I think that's happening to make sure that the bonds don't fail and things like that. It does look primarily like there is a lot of most of the revenue is going to come from local taxes, and obviously the Bears would kick in, I think, at $2 billion, something like that. So, but again, we're going to take a deep dive into the amendment and see where we are next week.
It seems like the Senate is going to concur with the House's changes to Senate Bill 76, the Immigration Matters Bill. Your response to that?
Well, I think most of our members voted against it, if I recall correctly. The issue really is, I think folks, I've seen it very often where we kind of get caught up with what's happening on the national level and things like that. And but we do forget then when we put forth bills like this, it's going to put more stress and strain on local officials, local police departments, the universities and things like that. How are they going to handle those sorts of things that I just don't think are thought through very well. And but they obviously did concur, which I think they're trying to do, frankly, as many as concurrent as possible. We'll have to see on it, kind of see where that goes. I'm sure we will probably be back here. That's one of my fears about this short session being so short and fast, is that we're going to be back here next year in a long session, probably correcting a lot of things that we pass out of here this year, potentially even that bill too.
So going into this final week of session, there were a lot of affordability issues that Democrats tried to push through, haven't been able to. Right now, what are you focusing on most in this final week that you're going to try to get through?
Well, you're correct. We'll continue to look at whether things go to conference, that we'll have an opportunity to improve bills, to see if we can strengthen some things. But, we talked about 1002, for example, today. Reminds me, spring training is coming up, and I love baseball. I think that bill's maybe a single at best, not a home run, certainly. We had a chance we put forth amendments to, I think Representative Pierce mentioned it again, about the 7% reduction that the data centers receive, that consumers don't receive. So, again, we'll have some opportunities. Maybe we'll just have to see what the bills that are out there and help to improve those come conference time.
Going back to the Bears bill for just a second, do you think SB 27 will take care of all the authorities that the state needs, or is there a possibility at this point that the legislature might have to come back in a special session for some sort of technical issue?
I don't know. I would highly doubt that. The issue to me right now is we'll see what the Illinois legislature is going to do. They don't adjourn until the middle of May, so they have time. Or I'm like me and others, when we go to do improvements to our houses or want to go buy a new car, you're going to get 2 or 3 bids, and that's probably what the state of Illinois is looking to do, or the Bears are looking to do when they ask the Illinois legislature, what can you do for us? So I think this is going to, I imagine this is the package that Indiana's going to offer, and we'll just see how that shapes up and how as we move along.
With 1 week left in session, look how you folks started with redistricting, a very sort of divisive issue, caused a lot of hard feelings in this place. Fast forward to today, everybody's singing Kumbaya to bring the Bears to Northwest Indiana. Is that just how the process works?
Well, I think we all probably are more in a better mood that knowing that we have 1 week left versus, but you're right, it did start out pretty contentious back in December, which seems like a very long time ago. We've always talked about this too. Most of the bills that we pass out of here, most of them have over 90 plus votes anyway. It's when we get down to the real contentious ones where, there's certainly going to be some disagreement and heated disagreement as well. So, but look, again, as I stated earlier, if the numbers look good to everyone, and this happens to work out, we'd be more than happy to have the Chicago Bears move to Indiana.
Leader, regarding the casino bill, you spoke on the floor for the House version in favor of that. The Senate has made some changes, given it would be in your neck of the woods. How are you feeling about what the Senate's done with it?
Yeah, I think the one thing that does stand out is probably the referendum language. So we'll just have to see how people feel about that, because most of these things, I think when the license moved down to Terre Haute, to Vigo County, they had to have a referendum there. Most of these things have had a referendum. I know that it's also, I believe it says that 2/3 of the county commissioners can approve it, and I think the mayor has to step in as well. So there are some things there where they would have to, elected officials would have to approve it, but we'll see. And then I know that it's actually somewhat creating another license, because it's getting rid of the off-track betting license, which probably is going to contribute to maybe some heartburn to some folks. But we'll see. I mean, this is obviously an issue that's gone on for a long time, with the fact that you have a cluster of casinos down in southeast part of Indiana, and as we've all said, these are kind of like state assets. I mean, we get revenue from these. So how can we best maximize revenue and without hurting other casinos? Very difficult issue with gaming, because it's like chess pieces. When you move one, you affect others. So it's tough, and we'll just have to see where that goes.
Leader, there's some renewed effort in the other chamber to shorten the number of days of early voting. Do you feel there's any appetite for that? I know this has been around for a couple years now. It hasn't passed. How do you think that the House is going to react to that? I
don't think folks will like that. I don't think the legislature is going to approve that in the end. Could be wrong, but I don't think they will. This is something. When folks have been used to this now, it contributes to the convenience of voting. Remember where we stand anyway in the country. Indiana is not that great when it comes to voter participation, and so the last thing you really want to do is now shorten the opportunity, shorten the window for folks to vote. So I don't see that passing in the end.
On the issue of more voter participation, the theory has always been it's not so much expanding early voting hours or giving more places to vote. It's having more competitive races, more Democrat, Republican, and people come out for a competition, not necessarily so much for one party rule.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't argue with you on that, because that's why we've supported independent commission drawing the maps. You would have much better competition with more balanced districts and things like that. So when they're slanted so much, as we know, the races end up being determined from the primary. I am very pleased, though, to see the number of folks that have signed up to run both in the House races and in the Senate. So hopefully we'll have some competition and provide some good competition in the fall.
Any seats you're specifically paying attention to that you feel like might be more competitive now than they were in years past, or?
We'll see how that goes, but I just can tell you that we have candidates that have, not only did they file to run, but they actually started way back last summer and early fall, and they're working extremely hard. And we'll see, knock on wood, but all indications look like it might be a pretty good year for Democrats with the issues that we've seen out there and the lack of solving those issues with regards to affordability in this session. I think is going to be a number one issue come fall.
So we missed you the last 3 weeks. Where you been?
Oh, I'm fine. I had a little procedure a couple weeks ago, so but doing okay. And I miss you too, Abdul. You know that. And it's kind of interesting because we've all talked about, and I've had members that have been here forever saying this has really been an interesting session from the compactness. We're here in December. You show up in January and you kind of there's that letdown because you're like, well, shoot. We've already been here once, and things are moving pretty fast and furious. So we'll just keep an eye on the ball and keep an eye on the Bills and see how we hopefully get this thing wrapped up by next Friday.
Well, I've missed you too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thank you.